work with a lot of major artists, a lot of Midwest artists, a lot of independent artists. I do songwriting also.
My name is Brian Empire. I work here in Cleveland out of Any Up Studios. I work with MGK, engineer Black Flag, produce, songwrite, whole nine.
Frank Lucas with Central 8 Studios, located out of Akron, Ohio. Producer, head engineer, post-production engineer, and studio manager. Yeah.
My name is Josh Manas, head engineer, producer over at Top of the World Studios here in Parma, Ohio.
My name is Cleveland Trump, CEO of Trump Productions. I'm a producer, songwriter, and engineer.
All right, fellas, I appreciate that. What's the difference between a producer and somebody who just makes beats?
My opinion on that, I think anybody can make a beat and just give it to an artist. I think the producer actually arrange it, tell you how it should sound, like far as the hook, as far as the bar count, when the drop should be in, and how it should sound, which part should be. That's my opinion.
When artists come to me and they looking for production, I've already had the chorus ready, the bridge ready. All you gotta do is come with a verse. So I think producing is more of, or being more prepared, because some artists are already lazy. They just want to hear the idea already ready. So I have all that, ready for any artist that come to my studio. And making a beat is just not tapping on some keys or clicking on some mouses. It's songwriting, having the idea already ready, having other producers in the studio with you, having keyboard players, having the full nine, so you can really bring out the whole idea that you're trying to accomplish or create. So.
Yeah, I think working with the producer, they're seeing the whole track from start to finish. You're not just like giving someone a beat, they're doing whatever on it. But like working with me, I try to see the song the whole way through, whether it's just like the intro, we're focusing on the intro and going into a verse or a chorus. And you're really building that stuff rather than just handing someone a beat, saying, all right, do your thing. It's seeing the song the whole way through and making sure you have, as a producer, have a vision for it, and the artist has a vision, and making that vision really come full circle and seeing that song be what you guys want it to be.
I think the biggest part of a beat maker and a producer, the difference is mixing. Basically, to a big point, anyone can make a very good sounding beat, but to mix it and to sculpt your beat, every piece by piece, to the right EQ, the right reverb, the right, that's producing. A lot of people can put rhythms together, but producing is something totally different for me.
The way it comes, the term or title producer, from my point of view, is, versus the beat maker. You're making music, sure, and everything's on time and it sounds all dramatic, but that's just the track itself. You know what I mean? So a producer is to take the talent of the beat maker, whether that may be his title or her title, and put the artist and or vocalist, people that play instruments, in the right kind of order. You become an arranger. It's very much like a director of a movie. You're not necessarily acting in it like a rapper, but you're definitely seeing the whole vision through, like a lot of people already said.
I know when I was making music, Mike Seifert was like our first producer we ever had when he was like 17 years old. Genius dude. But we had this relationship with Mikey, like before I would even go to lay down a verse, there was a chemistry. Before I'd even go to start to record, he had it right back to the right spot, the record. He knew what I was looking for every time. Talk to me about chemistry with an artist. And what can artists do to help further the chemistry that you have when you're working with them?
Chemistry is big. When you're in the studio and you have somebody that's high energy in there, it just adds to the energy level in the producer a lot more creative. It makes the session a lot more creative. And then it brings out more ideas so you can be even more creative. So I think energy, just being alive in the studio is how you come up with a #1 record. For me, I know it works for me because you see me on the keyboard and I'm jumping all over the room and I'm singing and rapping and doing whatever, just trying to get the feel there. Because if I got an artist in there and it's just dead, then I'm gonna be dead. So that's just my take on it.
Right. It's not just slapping the components together and put some glue and tape on it and calling it a song, because that's what makes that cookie cutter stuff that we talk about in the industry that people tend to like, but it had to have a vision. So there's got to be some kind of chemistry between all the people in the room, whether it be the engineer or the producer and whatnot, and as well as the artist. So I mean, it really does, as one man was saying, it keeps it's a certain fluidity and energy that goes through in making the whole scene happen. It's not just, I'm gonna bark this mic and all of a sudden you're gonna love me. Nah, it's like, if I bark right, you will. If I bark wrong, nobody's paying attention.
I think too, the communication that you gotta have with you gotta be able to communicate with them. You gotta be able to, as an artist, you should learn your terms when you tell me to put reverb on it. Do you really know what reverb is? You know what I mean? Like, don't use terms. Try to come with a way to communicate so you get the sound you want, because in your head you got a sound as an artist. There's a sound there that you're hearing in your head. And you got to be able to communicate that through words of how you want those things done. Communication is huge. Like, that's the biggest thing. We'll work together to get your vision out.
Really, to me, it's building a relationship. An artist from Cleveland, Kane, I used to talk with Kane every week for about 3 months before I even sent him a beat. So whenever I started sending him beats, I knew exactly what he wanted. And then when we got in the studio, we already had his sound picked out. It wasn't just a guessing game. I mean, these are records we're gonna make, to profit us, for our family and everything. And it takes more than 20 minutes of meeting you than us going to the studio and me playing you 20 beats to find that hit record. So artists really, talk to your producers, because I see a lot of people posting on Twitter, need beats, and they put their Gmail. It's like, why don't take the time out and actually talk to a producer and see the sound and see if you guys can come up with something, rather than just looking through a catalog and saying, I want that one, that one, and that one. And I'm gonna make a hit record with it. So
I like that. Good advice. Producers, over time, have started to develop identities like artists. Just like I said in the DJ panel, like DJs now have a brand. Producers have a brand. Top of the world is everywhere today. All the shirts and everything, you're seeing a brand. The branding with producers. Are you more conscious of that now in your marketing? Like, how are you finding a way to establish you as a brand in addition to just the creative side of being a producer?
Well, I can answer that just by a recent situation I just had going on a mixtape. A guy named Alley Boy mixtape. He spelled my name wrong in the production credits. But just so happened that I have a tag that goes in my beat. So that's how the people was familiar with it. So I think it get used like that for certain reasons to know. Some producers got a certain sound. Like me, I listen to a lot of music. I know what producer did what, or I know what producer tried to copy that producer's sound. So that it's all about branding that sound, basically. It's just being important as basically a brand company.
I would say it's basically having a tag, tagging your beats, but also working with the right artists too. Not working with a lot of artists that's just gonna let they boys hear it or the people they ride in their car with hear it. Working with artists that's moving, working with artists that has a buzz, or artists that's signed to a label or whatever. But the more quality people you work with, the more your brand is gonna be building up. So I just think, and the more stuff you do for yourself too. Like, it's not just about working with artists; it's about how you represent yourself. I always represent myself. You're not gonna see me out there, doing crazy stuff. You're not gonna see me, drunk or none of that stuff. So is all about who you are, what you represent, what your morals are, who you are as a person, and then it comes down to, you know, the quality of artists that you work with and the work that you do.
As far as producers, how important it is to build a brand. I mean, me personally, I set a list like artists do. I get photography done. I try to drop promotional videos, your tag, everything. It's all important because it's all about your image at the end of the day. And a producer should build his image as an artist, because now with the independent scene, really no record labels, it's very important that you can bring something to the table. So I would tell all the producers out here to look at yourself more as an artist than a beat maker on the promotion side, as far as putting yourself out to the public with videos, your tags, as far as interviews and everything. Give it the extra effort, because if you want the muscles, then you got to do the push-ups.
Yeah, it's really, branding period is just a business move. You know what I mean? You got to brand your name, because that's what they're always going to go to. If I'm in the studio with Frank and we're making a beat, well, I'm going to tell social media, Top of the World Studios, me and Frank working. I'm branding my name and I'm reaching his people too. You know what I mean? It's all about always putting your name out there. And if you do it enough, they're going to do it too. And once the people start doing it, is when it grows. You can't do it all by yourself.
That's a big theme we've heard today. Why out there's cross-promotion with other people. They're doing it across the board. It's come up in every panel. Help each other. Make their fans your fans. Make their platform your platform. I want to talk just in general. I just saw on the, I noticed it a lot on the Magna Carta Holy Grail album, where the producers, like on almost every track, Timbaland came in and worked on the track with him. You see his name on almost every track, assisting, doing drum arrangements, something like that. But producers are ego-driven. We all know that. It's your art. It's your masterpiece. Artists collaborate and work together all the time. How difficult is it for a producer to work with another producer? Have you done it, and how hard would it be to do?
I've done it. I do it a lot, especially in areas where I don't really have a creative ear for, like as far as R&B records. Like I know how to map it out, but as far as making sure the keys is laid right and the background is laid right, I'll bring in another producer. No problem. But a lot of people do have problems with that type of stuff, because I think people don't like having produced by such and such, co-produced by. I don't think people like that.
I personally enjoy it working as a team. I have a few producers I work with on projects. There's a lot more creativity in here. I mean, sometimes it might be cool, you got something going on just for yourself, and then you know, you might throw someone else on it and they hear something that you didn't even hear, and it might bring the track to another level. You know, whether it be just some keys, piano, guitar, anything like that. I mean, I think it's great. Like we were talking about branding as well before. I mean, attaching that with, like, if I worked on a record with Josh or Frank or anything, it's just, again, it's another branding thing. You're just growing.
Go ahead, Sean.
Working with other producers just helps build the creative level, you know, in a room. They might bring some ideas that you may not have thought about at that time. So I work with other producers. I also have a separate company called The Workheads. So, you know, I got Big Kurt over there, and he's a producer as well. Kim Bell. So, you know, we all producers, and we get together. We create a lot of crazy stuff that I would have never even, thought of by myself. So I think it's a good idea, not even just to work with your team, but to work with other producers in the city too, just to build that relationship and to cross-promote too. So.
Let's talk money. This is what producers love to talk about because it's so hard to get. But I got a funny story real quick. I had the kick drums on my radio show one time. My man Tiller from the Kick Drums was talking about how he produced a beat for Kid Cudi way before Cudi was famous, when they were in Randall Park Mall with a little studio over there. And Kid Cudi got so pissed because Kick Drums wanted $300 for a track, right? Kiddy was like, no, I'm not paying you. Cudi was like, I'm not giving you $300 for a track. I'm not going to do it. Now, you couldn't get a Kick Drums track for $300. And there's a whole lot of people throwing Cudi tracks right now, so the competition is there for that. But when you're starting out and you're on that independent level, there's this quandary that producers find themselves in, which is, how much do I charge? Who do I charge? If this person came to me for a beat for free, would I do it just to get my game up? You know, how do you decide how much to charge, and why is it important for producers to charge and get their price?
I feel like if your work is good, I mean, you should be paid for your service, obviously. Getting into the right people at the right time, you know, like you were saying, you know, who do you charge and who don't you charge? I mean, you have to think about weigh out the pros and cons and what this is going to benefit you. Is it going to bring something to the table? Is it gonna, I mean, you know, you giving this beat, is it going to land you more opportunities where you might not be getting something for this, but you might make something on the back end, or you might make you more available to other artists because you're getting an outlet. You know what I mean? It has to make sense to do something like that, but I think overall you should be getting paid for whatever you do. I mean, if someone's coming after you and they want to work with you, they want to work with you for a reason, obviously. You know, they've heard about you somewhere. I mean, I feel like it's very, very important producers getting paid, because I feel like too many beats are giving away for free, and it kind of saturates the market. And it's like, okay, what about the people that are really doing stuff? And it's like, you're making it harder for people to collect money or ask for money when people are just giving stuff away for free and stuff like that.
Pretty much everything that's ever been sold has been given away at one point, but there's a problem about free and eating. You just can't do both at the same time. It's tough. So charge your market value. I mean, really like pay attention to what other people are doing and then set a standard. I mean, like my company's called Raise the Bar for a reason, because we really want to keep a certain level of competence out there across the board or whatever we might touch. So, you know, for all the ones, I mean, granted, I know doing the game is, you know, you can't charge, but, you know, whatever you can charge. But once you help somebody, whether it's a local hit or a regional hit or whatnot, I mean, you just got to work with what you have, but it's all about being professional.
I think everybody on this panel has probably been approached about split sheets. Split sheets only work one way. Units have to be moved, like actually sold units. If I'm already getting paid money to do something, I can get money then, you know what I mean, instead of taking a split sheet. A split sheet, to ever be approached on a split sheet, there has to be a profit made at the end. So a lot of people do always approach about split sheets, yet you got to show me that you've sold 10,000 units. There's not something that we can generate a profit so we can actually split it.
I mean, it's hard because it's a fine line, because it's, you know, you find an artist that's actually moving, then you probably don't mind as much, you know, to give them a free beat, because it's going to help you grow as well. But at some point it becomes like you start giving them a whole bunch of beats and then you losing out. So it's like a fine line between who you decide to give a free beat to or who you decide to charge on the leg to. I think it's all about, you know, your quality of work, your history of work, and your body of work. So, you know, all that comes into how much you gonna charge, how much you feel in your head that, you know, your work is worth, and, you know, charge it and stick to it, and they'll come if it's, you know, it's worth it.
I seriously think that sometimes when artists ask for free beats, it kind of throws me off, because it's like, if you hot as you say you are, and you asking me for a free beat, to me, it's like you don't plan on making nothing off this hot song. Because if you want something from me for free, you're gonna hand it out for free. You don't plan on making money off the shows that you can perform the songs in. So why would I do that? That's how I look at it. And then when people, this is the line that killed me from rappers. Oh, I don't pay for beats. What do you pay for? Yeah, cause I know your whole mixtape ain't no damn acapella, so that's why I be tripping off that. Like, I really try to ignore it, but at the same time, I gotta go back, like, really conversate on that. Like, so what you doing? Like, I don't be understanding it. And then when people be having their own producers, they be like, well, I don't pay for beats, I got my own producer. So why are we having this conversation?
Right.
You already get shown
Right.
unloyal, like my man said earlier about the loyalty. You already being unloyal. Like you talking to another producer when you got trying to get your own team.
Right.
And as far as producers, people paying for it, or are you giving them away for free? It's really just what you want to be. You want to be the local guy that sells beats for $25 a piece on SoundClick, or do you want to be the guy that had to shell out 5 beats for free, and then now he's working with national artists? I mean, personally, myself, I remember being at Taco Bell and giving a beat to MGK, and going to a show and watching him make over $40,000 and him perform my song, and me sitting there frustrated, like, how is this happening? This dude's making all this money. I'm sitting here busting my butt at a fast food restaurant still. But at the end of the day, the hard work pays off, and you might have to sacrifice a couple of free beats and put in that work and let other people eat before you get a plate. So if you're looking to become a national producer, just don't get frustrated with the money, because the money's going to come. Just make sure the music's hot.
And like, artists isn't the only way to get paid off your beats neither. Like, it's different ventures you can go to as far as movies, as far as like ads and stuff like that too. So artists isn't the only way that I get paid off my beats. So I don't want to just think that we all depend on artists, because I know it's some artists aren't dependable. So I mean, I want to sound like I'm being rude or nothing like that, but I mean, some of the artists I work with just haven't been working. So I don't depend on artists to pay me for my beats all the time. I don't even go to them. I got other sources where I might be doing a commercial ad, or I might be doing a movie score or whatever, just to compensate for that money.
That's a good point. I know Big Boogie had music placed in Adidas commercials, and the kick drums have been on Cougar Town and everything else, that they probably never in a million years thought they would hear their music on, but there are other ways to get paid. I agree with that. I also want to shout out, for those of you who don't know, my man Young Yanni from Cleveland has a song that I believe is number 1 on iTunes? No, he had that one, but he's got one out right now that he produced for some cat that's got Justin Bieber on it. I forget the dude, the main dude. But Major Ali? Okay, I forgot his name. Yeah, but they, big time. So Cleveland is a funny place. I don't know, Ohio in a whole is what we're celebrating here, but we've had DJs make it, we've had producers make it, so there's a niche for everybody to make money and have a place in the music industry. Go down the line, tell us where we get a hold of you. Artists, please do not submit a bunch of submissions to these guys unless you're serious and you got a budget.
Mobeats, it's at MOE_BEATS on Twitter and Instagram and pretty much just about everything else. And then the email is moe.razdabar@gmail.
My Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the same name. Chris Siege, that's CRISSIEGE.
Twitter and Instagram are the same, Brian Empire, BRIAN Empire. And then my email is empirecle@gmail.com.
My Twitter is @IamFrankLucas, and then for production, my email is producebyFrankLucas@gmail.com.
Yeah, my Instagram is @TopOfTheWorldStudio, and if you want to contact us, it's topoftheworldmusicinfo@yahoo.com.
My Facebook, Twitter.com, Instagram, and Gmail is all Cleveland's Trump, CLEVELANDSTRUMP.
Macho, somebody cut the cord, that's my introduction to the world. Plenty wounds from the womb of such a vicious girl. Nobody remembers the nigga that was trying to make it, so the thought of being forgotten got me short on patience, nigga. I am grinding till the day gone, still up when the day breaks. Young, black, and motivated, everything that they hate. Young, black, and overpaid, that's the shit that they say, but I swear it's nothing on this page, that's some shit they can't trace.
Alright, there it is. Hey, get that. Hey, he's making noise. You're gonna remember that, dude. I respect the hustle. We'll take it. Little out of place, but we'll go with that. Alright, make some noise for our producer planner, y'all. Let's go. Up next, do not go anywhere. We got our